I've been planning to make a video about internet popularity for a while, and then the other day my friend Jem put up an amazing, super honest video called Life as an Anxious Content Creator. I'm going to link to this video below, and I would highly recommend you check it out because it was in part a catalyst for this video. Jem's video talks about the very real difficulties of putting stuff you create out on the internet, something I'm all too familiar with. I really related to a lot of it, to looking at reads or view counts that don't seem to be going up, and wondering why I keep doing this. I mean, both of us keep making content for a reason, and realistically that reason isn't to be seen by thousands and thousands of people, because we're both vloggers with a relatively small audience. The real reason, I guess, for both of us is because we love it, and we're committed to getting our voices and experiences out there when it comes to difficult topics like mental illness. I feel like I spend more time introducing my mental illnesses to everyone than I do introducing myself, but in case you don't know me or haven't watched my videos here, this is the obligatory rundown. I've suffered from depression for probably around 10 years, and more recently have developed anxiety on top of that. So right now I'm a 21-year-old vlogger trying to balance the creation of online content with degree studies and a couple of mental illnesses that tend towards self-sabotage. So obviously it's a great time. I've been on social media in various forms since the age of about 11, and on Twitter since I was about 16. For much of my teens, the internet was very much a space to escape and interact with people outside my social bubble. It's only really in the past 3 years or so, as anxiety has set in, that my relationship with the internet has become a much less positive experience. In her video, Jem talks about freezing up before beginning the editing process of her videos and shelving projects because she's certain she can't offer anything that's as good as anyone else, which, as an aside, is categorically untrue. My experience differs from Jem's here because I don't actually find that anxiety tends to interrupt my creative process. In reality, it tends to stop me before I can even get started. I look at all the other people my age or younger who are ridiculously popular online, and I know I can't match it and wonder why I even bother. My anxiety basically plays on all these shallow insecurities that I wish I could have left behind in high school. A lot of the time I find myself not even caring whether what I make is fantastic or total shit, just caring about whether enough people are reading or viewing it. And as to how much enough is, honestly, I don't know. When my content does actually get attention, take my interview with Seafall, which has been read over 1,000 times, my brain refuses to allow me credit for that. Oh, it says that only got views because Seafall shared it to all their followers. No one actually cares about your writing. This is such a horrible mindset to be stuck in, because obviously I only have a finite amount of friends and followers to share my work with. Obviously, anything beyond that is due to the generosity of others choosing to share it and the mysterious luck that is online algorithms. Everyone's work is, to some extent or other, subject to this same system. For some reason, however, anxiety assures me that that's not the case. Anxiety and the desire for popularity also really influences how I use social media, and Twitter in particular. A lot of this is going to sound really petty and is actually quite embarrassing to talk about, but I hope that being honest about it is going to help me tackle these behaviours in the long run. As a few of you know, I have a couple of personal Twitter accounts. There's my main one, Pip Sucks, and another one I created a while back for stuff that I can't share on my main account for various reasons. This second account is steadily becoming a place for me to share things I know aren't going to get a big reaction, because it's way less anxiety inducing for me to share stuff to my small following there and to be ignored, than to share stuff on my main account and be ignored. If I tweet a selfie there and it only gets 2 favourites, no big deal, I don't have many followers on it. If the same happens on my main, I'm convinced I'm ugly for days. I also strictly maintain the number of people I follow on my main account in order to seem more popular, but I feel kind of ashamed to admit this, even though it's probably not uncommon. As a person, and those of you who know me know this, I'm super keen to be as friendly and as approachable as possible, both on and offline. So I realise strictly maintaining a good follower to following ratio is kind of incongruous with that. That said, I regularly find myself pruning out inactive accounts, people who don't follow me back, people I no longer regularly interact with in order to maintain this bizarre illusion of popularity. Does anyone else care? Probably not. Does it make me feel weird and bad? Yeah. But so does not doing it. So that's a lovely catch-22. There are some things I feel uncomfortable talking about on my main account, despite feeling super passionate about. I suffer from chronic pain and also have dyspraxia, a learning disability. Unlike my tweets about queerness, mental health, and feminism, tweets about my disabilities tend to be largely ignored. I don't talk about these things because they're not popular topics among my following, and as a result, I erase these super important parts of myself. Disability informs how I see the world as much as mental illness does, for example, and these two things regularly interact with each other. The main difference is that mental illness has that hashtag relatability factor for a hell of a lot more people, and the faves and retweets I get on that topic validate my opinions far more than the tumbleweed response to my disability chat. It's super hard to talk about this interaction between social media and mental health without just being dismissed as a shallow millennial, but I've actually seen a fair amount in the news recently about social media and how it affects the self-esteem of young women, so I'm hoping this discussion is only going to open up more in the future. I don't have any real solutions to the problems and behaviour patterns I've mentioned here, but if you do, I would obviously love to hear them. If you struggle with the impact of social media on your mental health, I hope that the main thing you can take away from this is that you're completely not alone. And it's okay to talk about these things, even if they do seem super embarrassing. I think we do need to shift the idea that it's wrong to derive validation from social media, because in a lot of ways it is really fantastic for that. However, we do need to help people who need to step away and disconnect to recharge. I've been particularly bad at this recently, because Pokemon Go means I always take my phone with me when I go out. Working out things like this that are negatively impacting you can sometimes be really difficult, but it's obviously a necessary first step in order to build a healthier relationship with social media. On the flip side, if social media is a completely chill space for you and mental illness doesn't inhibit you there, that's great. Please be aware that this isn't the case for so many of us. Please do your best to support and validate all creators, but especially the mentally ill ones, because you never know how much of a struggle it is for us to make content, actually upload it, and then deal with the response to it. I realise this has been a bit of a weird video, and probably a lot of you won't be able to relate at all, but I'd really love to hear any feedback you have. Also, feel free, obviously, to get in touch about your own experiences as a mentally ill creator and how you feel you could be better supported by the community at large. Also, this has been my first ever properly scripted video, as you can probably tell, so let me know if it felt weird, impersonal, or better for being kind of less all over the place. As ever, who knows when I'm going to be back with another video. I'm moving into my new house at the weekend. It'll probably be a while before I'm comfortable filming there with my 6 new flatmates. And then I'm probably obviously going to be really busy with going back to uni, that kind of thing, so we'll see. Obviously, you can hit me up on Twitter in the meantime, and till I see you again, take care.